Hello everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Language Talks. I am Lalita Marathe, translator and trainer in conversation with Gurudat Kamath from Mumbai. I know Guru for a long time and I always admire his wit. Guru is a highly accomplished translator working in the French language for over 2 decades. He has received the Professional Translators Award from BITS India Pvt, Pune. He has a vast range of experience from writing 2 Amar Chitra Kathas, more than 1,000 articles in Savvyt, Investments Today, more than 1,000 user manuals. He has translated a children's book from English to Marathi, and he's a French translator to date for over 2 decades. He now specializes in French to English medical translation. Let's talk to him and learn about his journey. Hi, Guru.
Hi,
Welcome to the show.
Guten Tag, Namaskar, Bonjour.
Guten Tag, bonjour. Yes.
Yeah.
You have been a French to English translator for over 20 years. What led you to specialize in this field?
Yeah. Let me start at the beginning. When people
Sure.
ask me why you learned French, I always joke, my wife could not understand me in English. So I said, let me try it in French. But let me tell you where I really started doing French translation. I was doing a technical writing job in Dubai for a Dubai company. And when I returned back to India, they said, we're looking out for a French translation of our error messages. And do you know French? I said, I don't know French. And they said, can you handle this job? So I said, and they said, people are charging rupees 10 per word. This is about 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, and rupees 10 per word, and, just imagine for 1,000 words, it's 10,000 rupees. So, and the person from Alliance Francaise wanted 3 lakhs and half of it in advance. So they said, hey, we cannot afford all this. So can you do something? So I went looking out, and those days all Google and everything was not all that good. So I went looking out, and finally I found a wife of an assistant commissioner of police who, she knew French, and she said, okay, I will do the job for you, but I don't have a dictionary. So, I went and bought a 3,500 rupees dictionary. So, I brought the dictionary, but she sort of could not do it for whatever reasons. So I was in a fix, because I had almost said, yeah, I found somebody and we can, I can get it done for you. And the objective was to get the thing done at a reasonable price, not to make money. So, finally, since there was nobody and I could not find anybody, so what I did was I asked my wife, who had learned French in school and college, and she is a very good academic. She is a very good in languages and all that. She keeps telling me her English is better than me, her French is better than me, which is true. So she said, yeah, we can try it. And remember, those are just error messages. Right. So we started doing it, and I started helping her, So she went on doing the translation. I went on helping her. And from time to time, I used to say, okay, hey, why is this? Why have you translated it this here like this, and here you are trying to do this thing? I mean, she got angry and she said, you better learn French before you make comments on my translation, So it went on like this. We did the job. We made some money. And then what happened is we started getting more jobs. And we started getting more jobs, and sometimes she used to get so much of jobs. Can you believe it? She used to give 1 lakh worth of jobs to somebody else. So somebody whom we found to somebody else, and she didn't charge a single paisa. 1 lakh ka job hai, ye lo 1 lakh and aap le lo. And I was thinking, ki here I am a technical writer who's finding it struggling to make some money. So I said, instead of spending 1 lakh to somebody else, why don't I learn and I will start doing it? So I started learning French at the age of around 50 or something. I don't remember the exact age, around 50 or something. I learned at Alliance Francaise, I learned French for 3 years. And as I was learning, I started doing, since she was already doing French translation, I also started doing French translation. That's how I began translation. And thanks to pros.com and all that, a lot of jobs were coming. And also thanks to Google Translate not being there.
Right. So currently you're focusing on medical translation.
Yeah.
How does the medical translation differ from other types of translations? Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, as you might have seen today, everybody is an expert on GBS now. During
Yeah.
COVID times, everybody was an expert on COVID. We just and everybody goes to Doctor Google.
Right.
And they want to try solve problem. You meet somebody and he will give you solution.
Right.
Like you cough and he says, "हाँ क्या हो गया आज? हाँ cetirizine ले लो." So everybody thinks medicine is so easy. But until I
Hmm.
started doing medical translation, I never knew the complexities of medicine. There are so many bones in the body, there are so many muscles, so many ligaments, so many joints. We have the brain, which is again such a complex thing. And for this, there are so many diseases. For the brain, there are so many diseases. For every part, there are so many diseases. And there are so many specializations. And all these Google experts and all, if you ask them to name 10 specializations in medical, I'm sure they will not be able to do it. Yesterday, I learned from a doctor that there is something called vascular interventional radiologist.
Oh,
My God, I don't even know what that is. And I came to know there is something called interventional cardiologist. I mean, that it's a little more easy to intervention is maybe something like surgery or something and so on. So
right.
it's very complex, so that was very challenging, and so I took it up, and I've done legal, I've done on nuclear energy, I've done on I mean, you name it, environment and so on. The benefit is I was a technical translator. Remember, I mean, sorry, technical writer. So in that field also, I had done these kind of writing. So that's why I could do medical translation, and we are doing work for Canadian hospital documents. So we have to
Okay.
know Canadian French, and we have to translate into Canadian English. So that is a challenge. And most of these medical forms are very complex. They're very complex. In fact, doing one form takes almost a day, right?
Hmm.
And another challenge is I mean, doctors' handwriting is always criticized. So some of these are in French in doctors' handwriting. So you need to decipher that and all that. So it's a very challenging field.
So I think you are dealing with two things. One is the technical part of it, and another is the language part of it. Like
Yeah, that's a good
French
question.
and
Good
Canadian
part. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, and the handwriting also. I think.
yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
It's very tough. It's very challenging. Oh, I forgot to tell one more interesting. My last client, why I got it. She's a very good client and from Canada. You know what happened? My wife, I mean, she was my wife's client. And she used to get these Canadian hospital jobs. And what happened is, in one job, she said, "I'm going to return this because I cannot follow the handwriting." So at that time, I
Oh,
said, hey, let me do it, let me try it. And I did it. And now that client is I mean, my wife's client is now my client. And,
fantastic.
yeah, and now we have a fight to get
So
jobs
you're a,
from her.
right.
By the way, can I
Yeah.
share something very interesting? Artificial intelligence is progressing so much.
Hmm.
There are AI tools to decipher handwriting. I mean,
Okay.
they never managed to do it, as I have found out. And many times you have to just write illegible. You don't follow a word in this thing. Sometimes you can guess the word based on the sentence and based on your own little knowledge of medicine, right? That
Correct.
reminds me to tell you, there are so many drugs for each medicine. Like there might be some 1 million drugs. And remember, we
Wow.
have, yeah. And so, you'll have to check for each word whether it's a correct spelling and it's the correct word. It's amazing. I
Hmm.
always have great respect for doctors,
Hmm.
thanks to my profession in the medical translation. I mean, thanks to me being in
Right.
this profession.
Yeah, right. Guru, you have also had a long career as a technical writer. So how do translation and technical writing complement each other?
Yeah. See, basically, I started off as an Amar Chitra Kathas sub-editor. I wrote
Hmm.
two comics there. Then I was a journalist. What I'm saying is, writing is being, I am basically a writer. So what happened is, the newspaper, I was a journalist. So the newspapers were dying, and so jobs were going to die, and TV industry was coming up. So I wanted to find a new industry. So I found technical writing as the sunrise industry, and I joined as a technical writer. And then I learned technical writing and all that, and I promoted technical writing in India and all that. So because of that background, because of that strong background in technical stuff, and because of the strong background in writing and writing user manuals and using technical stuff, that has been a great learning, which has been very useful in technical translations. Because many of the jobs are manuals, or for example, reports, for example, reports on pharmacy, reports on medicine, and so on. So it's a very complimentary thing, and I have used the skills of this thing, but unfortunately, I don't get paid more for that. Only thing is sometimes clients appreciate, oh, this is a good job.
Okay. Could you share your experience teaching technical writing? And you have also taught tools like and Word. So, and also how have these tools evolved over the years? Please tell us about it.
Yeah. It's very fascinating that thanks to joining CityCorp software, I was one of the first persons to use a DTP system in India. I was one of the first persons to use email in India. Email was not even known at that time. CityCorp, Citibank had an email where they communicated with their staff. So I was the first person to do that. And similarly, I was the first person to use an Apple Mac desktop publication, PageMaker, then RoboHelp, and then Word. Word, can you believe it? I used Word 0 or Word 1. And today, I think there are about 10 or 15 versions. And I have used all these versions.
Fantastic.
So it's been great learning all these tools in this wonderful place, CityCorp software. So I learned all these tools, and because of that, I had an opportunity to teach. I had to teach. I got an opportunity to teach technical writing both at CityCorp software. I got an opportunity to teach at IIT Mumbai, then National Institute of Design, L&T Infotech, and so many other companies. I taught things like PageMaker, RoboHelp, Word, PowerPoint, and all that. Most of us know only about 50% or even 30% of a software. I used to teach so that they could reach 50 or 60%. So that they knew everything. Like macros. Very few people use macros. I don't know whether you remember, when I was given the Professional Translators Award, and they asked me to speak for 3 minutes that day. I don't know whether you were there or not. Most probably you were there. So, I was trying to communicate, hey, people use Word properly, use macros and so on, There also I wanted to teach rather than just thanks for the award.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's evolved very much. By the way, the word has evolved so much, right? What has happened is the functionalities are becoming more and more intuitive. And more and more AI is getting involved in it. The functionalities might be the same, but you can do it in several different ways. There are so many shortcuts, and macros have become so easy now. It's amazing, all that development which is there. I don't know how many people are really using this. So I'm very glad that I am very familiar with it. For example, Word can be a great translation tool. It has translation inbuilt in it. Do you know that? It's amazing. You can click on a word and it shows you the translation. And you can click something and you can translate that Word document immediately. So it's amazing. So much of changes have happened.
Right. Guru, you have been in technical documentation, and I think clarity and precision play a major role in that.
Yeah.
So how do you ensure both in your work?
Yeah. I mean, see, I learned, firstly, as I mentioned, I was a writer, I was a journalist, and so on. I'm like a born writer. Can you believe it? Age of 12 or 14, I won a short story competition award of JS magazine. Basically, I'm a writer, so I've been focusing on writing. And at the age of 15 and all, I used to read Reader's Digest. And, there used to be a word power thing. Can you believe it? Every time I used to get in the highest range, 16 to 19. I don't know how. I don't know how. I used to get in the highest range at any time. Means my vocabulary was very great. And since reading Reader's Digest and all, my English was pretty good. So because of that, all these writing aspects about clarity, about precision and all was already there. But as I went into Amar Chitra Kathas as a sub-editor, I learned more nuances of writing. Then I became a journalist. Incidentally, I've done a diploma in journalism. I've done a diploma in book publishing. So when you do a diploma in journalism, you get to learn the aspects of writing. And U.R. Rao from the editor in Times of India was our teacher. And I used to tell him, sir, today I found 100 mistakes on your exactly on the front page of Times of India. So I told him this in his office. Huh? I told him this in his office, and he said, "Yeah, the proofreaders are on leave." So precision is about that. You need to spell correctly. You need to have grammar correctly, and all that. And let me tell you one of the challenges of all this clarity and precision and all that. We have American English, we have Canadian English, we have Indian English, and so on. And spelling is not just the difference. There is a grammar difference, and so on. So being precise is very very difficult. And so editors will always have a fight. Hey, this is correct or not. And there is also a subjective element. So basically, I learned precision in my journalism course. And see, there are skills of a journalist which can be useful in technical writing. And most of the technical writing stuff which I learned on my own. In the film industry, they ask, what is it? It's about entertainment. In writing, it's about revision. Editing. You keep on revising, you keep on editing, so on.
It just never stops. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
So how has technical writing evolved over the years with a lot of technology around us?
Yeah. Technical writing has evolved wonderfully, and I think a role to play in the technical writing development in this field. I started the Technical Writers of India list, twin. So that is where we shared our knowledge, because see, remember, this was about 25 years ago when Google was not so well known. Then the emails, and we didn't have WhatsApp, and so many technologies that we have today, we didn't have that, and information was not so easily available. Now today, technical writing information is so widely available. At that time, it was not available. Only some few textbooks were there, and they were so difficult to get in India, so difficult to read, and so on. But I managed to do that, and I managed to do through this list and through the Society of Technical Communication to spread the message about technical writing. And as it evolved, and as more things came about, the technical writing. And incidentally, for the last 20 years, I have been a translator.
You mentioned the Technical Writers of India that you have founded. So please tell us more about it.
I was one of the Technical Writers of India. It was a sunrise industry, and nobody knew about technical writing. So I went into that field, luckily, thanks to a job in Citicorp Software. And I used to try to promote technical writing so that people know about technical. At Citicorp Software, I taught every new batch of recruits or new recruits or freshers, as we call them in India. So I used to do that. And then I used to teach them in public also. So when I used to teach that, I used to teach I used to do workshops, I used to do seminars, I used to do talks and all that. My friend Milind Kadilkar had a teaching thing called Chintan Systems. So I used to, and he used to provide his space free. So, I used to conduct talks and all. But, during those days, it was not all that popular. Then, like WhatsApp and other things, and social media was not there. So, just imagine, you are teaching to 5 people, 7 people. With great difficulty, you're getting these members. So, I taught all that. I tried to promote technical writing, and it grew from a mailing list. I started a mailing list called Twin. So, which was based on a foreign mailing list, called Tech World or something like that. So so for this we shared our Indian problems, and there we shared notes on how to write better and all that. And we used to hold workshops in Pune University. We used to hold workshops in Mumbai and so on. So that and Makarand Pandit and myself, we tried to we were trying to hope that technical writing courses would start in Pune University and so on. I don't know finally whether it has started or not. Kerala University started it some long ago. So that's how is about technical writing education in India.
That's nice. You have been a guest faculty at various prestigious institutions like IIT Mumbai, NID Ahmedabad.
Yeah.
So how is that experience?
Uh, that experience was absolutely fabulous. Like it was just imagine, you did not do IIT. I did not even attempt IIT. Because it was so difficult. And then one day you get a professor asking you, can you come and teach for us? So I rushed there and started teaching writing there, technical communication to 400 PhD students. Just imagine teaching 400 PhD students in one hall, and you're teaching them about communication. But I really thoroughly enjoyed teaching, and the professor who made me started asked me to do this particular job of teaching technical writing and computer writing and communication and all that to the design students. Used to give me a big list of some 20-30 different topics. It was not just in IIT, it was better. Like they said, you do teach this. That's it. And we shared, and I basically taught what I wanted to teach. Whereas NID, I had to teach what they wanted me to teach. So he said, do ethics in writing. Then he talked about user interface design and all that. So I learned all those things, and I taught that. So it was a very challenging and a very nice experience.
That's very nice.
Yeah. And similarly, teaching at L&T Infotech was wonderful, and so many other top companies have this thing. I want to share one particular thing. RoboHelp is an Adobe product, right? And Adobe has this big giant things. I don't know what they call it, conclave or something. Have you ever attended any of that? No.
No, not yet.
When they introduce a new product, they have a free session where everybody comes. You must have heard of all this Apple launch and this, that, right? So similarly, Adobe had that long back, and I attended one of their sessions, and I was talking to their product manager, and I said, I mean, it's so interesting. We are in Mumbai, and I'm going and teaching Adobe product to an office which is right next to your building. So, yeah. So he says, Guru, you come and teach to our staff also. Adobe product. This thing,
Great.
Yeah.
We have all grown up reading Amar Chitra Katha books, and you actually got to write two of them. So please tell us about your experience.
Oh yeah. I was a journalist earlier, and then magazines were dying, newspapers were dying. So I wanted to. I mean, I completed my BA, and when I completed my BA, I'm a very proactive person. I want to change the world. So I met Anant Pai, and I gave him suggestions. I didn't know Anant Pai was such a great legend. He's the founder of Amar Chitra Katha. By the way, today I've come to know he's a big legend. Like I don't know whether you can call him the Shah Rukh Khan of comics. He was the father of comics in India. That is true, right? So I had gone and given him suggestions for some of his things. So he says, Guru, what are you doing after BA? I said, I'm looking for a job. So he says, why don't you join me as sub-editor? So I said, yes. Yeah. And can you imagine, Friday I completed my BA last exam, and Monday I was in a job as a sub-editor of this thing. And
look at
that was very fabulous. And I had people like Anant Pai, Mr. Subbarao, Kamala Chandrakant, and so on, from whom I learned a little bit of editing and writing and all that. And I wrote two comics. One is Jagdish Chandra Bose, which is about the scientist. And so I'm really happy about writing that book. And I wrote The Queen's Necklace and other stories. And I was thinking, this is a small achievement, It is, according to me, it's a small achievement. But see, I am very prominent on X, Twitter. And, two surgeons from Canada wrote to me, Guru, it's such a pleasure to meet you X here. We are fans of Amar Chitra Katha, and now we are fans of you, or some such thing, And that very day, I put my Jagdish Chandra Bose on my profile picture. And I changed it in my bio also, writer of two Amar Chitra Kathas. So, I mean, it's been so fascinating and fabulous to be associated with Amar Chitra Katha.
Truly, yes, definitely.
Yeah. and so many people regard it as something great. Yeah, but
Yes, it is. It is.
yeah.
Guru, your column Documentor in Express Computers ran for 3 years. So, what main topics did you cover in that?
Yeah. So, see, let me first explain how I started writing the Documenter column. I used to work
Okay.
for a company called Think Systems, and in Think Systems was based in USA. I was in India. So, you used to write something or edit something, and it still goes there, and you would never get any comments or feedback for 1 month, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks or something. So, you had nothing to do. So, I used to sleep in the office. I used to sleep in the office. So I said, why don't I write something and so on? So I started writing this document, this column. And in Think Systems, Milind Khadilkar was around. He's the one who suggested the name Documenter. It's about documentation, and I'm the mentor. I'm the one who's teaching people about the documenting. So it was fabulous. So there is a Computer Express which was there, which used to come weekly. So I wrote it in that particular magazine for 3 years. Every week, it was amazing. And I used to cover topics on how to teach. Whatever is happening in the day-to-day life, if there is something about technical writing which I can use, I used to write about that. I don't know what I wrote for 3 works. Just imagine it will be about 300 columns or something, right? 53 every year. So it will be about 150 or so columns. So one column I do remember, like when I was in Dubai, this thing, there the menu system using a computer was there. Like somebody would take your order on I don't know whether tabs were there or not. He used to take it, and immediately it was transmitted to the kitchen by this thing, and the kitchen, they would read it on the computer and give you the dish. And most probably you had to order it by computer. By the way, this was very, very long back. The first time this was started. So I wrote it in the computer column Documenter on what is this and how it is and so on. But basically, it's about technical writing, how to improve your technical writing and all that.
Okay. In addition to English and French, you have an advanced diploma in communicative Marathi. So, what motivated you to learn Marathi at such a deep level?
Yeah, I always wanted to learn Marathi. And tragedy is, for 10 years, I was looking for a way to learn Marathi. I could not. And thanks to Twitter, somebody told me that Mumbai University has a course. I had to wait for, and I went to the Mumbai University. By the way, there is a Marathi department which teaches Marathi to beginners. And so I went there and tried to join that course. Unfortunately, I could not join for whatever reason. And then the German department started a course called Communicative Marathi. So I joined that course and I learned it for 3 years. It was fantastic. All the books are like your German books, German textbooks. It's done by the German department. So Dr. Vibha Surana, Dr. Meher, and all that. They were the ones who are mainly the founders of this particular thing, where they wanted to teach Marathi in a very systematic way, just as they teach it in German or French or anything else. So they have it in the same way, A1, A2, B1, B2, B3. So there are 6 levels. So I managed to do 3 levels. So that's how I started learning Marathi. The interesting part is, as I was learning, I was also contributing to that course.
Okay.
Like we were actually guinea pigs. The first few batches were actually guinea pig in a manner of speaking. So it was great, So to do this, give feedback and all that. And I continued giving feedback for the next levels also, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's how I began. And the idea was that French translations will go down, and I wanted to translate Marathi. Marathi is such a difficult language. Many times I get a job and then I have to refuse it, because I cannot do it. Both English to Marathi and Marathi in English. One of my favorite phrases is, Marathi is as easy as it is difficult.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So how does being multilingual help you in technical writing, translation, or any other documentation that you do? Yeah. First thing is, multilingualism is helping my brain. There is so much of research which says, the more languages you learn, the more your brain grows. So, I've been trying to learn Tamil, not with much success. I've been trying to learn Malayalam. Okay.
with zero success. Marathi, I managed to learn some 20% with a little bit of success. And one day you told me, yachi Marathi improves ali hai or something like that. That made my day. So that means the Marathi course had benefited me and I had improved my Marathi. So multilingualism, how does it help better translation? See, just as journalism, writing skills helped my technical writing, now my technical writing is helping translations. So all the
I see.
tools and techniques that you are using in technical writing, you're doing the same thing in this thing. Today, what is happening is thanks to AI, there is translation from one language to another. Somebody may
Correct.
translate French to English via Hindi or via Sanskrit or something, or so on. So when AI translates it, it could be a total mess because of whatever reason. So if you are multilingual, you sometimes get a feeling, okay, hey, this is because of this particular language that this translation is there. So multilingualism gives you the nuances of a language. Thanks to learning English, French, Sanskrit, Marathi, I know the grammars of these languages, the differences of these languages and all that. And because of that, when I see a sentence, I am able to learn what it is, and I'm able to handle it much better. Your grammar improves. The more languages you know, the more your grammar improves. And even today, I learn every day on Facebook. I'm seeing some French posts, and I'm learning French even today. So
Right.
I'm learning Marathi even today. Yeah, it continues.
Yeah, I think language learning never stops. Isn't
Exactly.
it?
Exactly.
Right.
And by the way, AI is a great tool to learn languages. And I'm totally impressed that ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and so on, all of them can translate our Indian languages. Can you believe it? Of course, they
It's
mess it up
amazing.
many times. Yeah, sorry, did you say
Yeah,
something?
but it will improve.
Yeah, it's going on improving. Can I to say one particular sad part about Google Translate and this thing? People keep making jokes about Google Translate.
Hmm.
Okay, you make the joke, but the thing is,
Hmm.
are you helping Google Translate improve? They don't do it. In the French
Right.
people and the German people, they kept on improving Google Translate. If the translation were wrong, they would suggest to Google to change it. So but by the way, for Marathi, I was number 4 in the list of people who gave suggestions to Marathi. Can you imagine?
Oh,
I am
very
number
good.
4. I mean, I got a letter from Google or whatever saying something like that. I
Good.
don't remember exactly, but something like that. So just imagine some student of Marathi. I regard myself as a student of Marathi, getting number 4. The Maharashtrians, Marathi native language speakers, they are not changing. They're just laughing at it. So you change it. If there is a money which is there and it's giving some funny translation, you say to Google, no, this is the translation. So we need to
Yeah,
do that.
we should do it. Yes,
Yeah,
as
exactly.
language professionals.
Yeah,
Certainly.
exactly. Exactly.
Definitely. Yeah. Looking back at your journey, what do you consider your most fulfilling professional achievement?
That is a whole list of things which I find fulfilling. Writing the 2 Amar Chitra Kathas,
Oh,
then
yes.
then starting the technical writers mailing list. Just imagine thousands of people have become technical writers thanks to that list. I translated a book from English to Marathi. That was again great. Working with the communicative Marathi project as a student reviewer was very, very satisfying. I actually did their edited their not edited but sort of reviewed their nurses book. They
Okay.
brought out a nurses handbook for nurses. Just imagine how
Oh,
fantastic the German department is. They have brought out a book for doctors and nurses who don't know Marathi. People from other doctors come to this city. They need to know Marathi. How do you talk to your patient and all that? So they have that. And I had a chance to, maybe I didn't review the whole book. Maybe I just reviewed their glossary. So that was a very satisfying thing to do that. And that English to Marathi translation, again, the children's book or something.
I'm
But let
sure
me
it must
share
be good.
let me share a secret with you.
Yes.
It is thanks to you. You have that fantastic WhatsApp group in that WhatsApp group, there was a message, for children's book, they needed an English to Marathi writer. So I wrote to them and I said, this is my situation. I would love to do it. And see, I was into children's literature, right? Amar Chitra Kathas and all that. So I thought it would be child's play to translate from English to Marathi. It was very, very tough. I took help of a lot of native speakers, and really I found it very, very tough. And surprisingly, they took it, they accepted it, and they paid me a royal sum. I was telling them I'm doing this for free. I want to learn Marathi. They said no, we will pay you so much.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and they paid
But
me
you
a
have to do
royal
beautiful
sum,
job.
and they actually asked me to edit some other person's work also. They paid me for that also. I really regret all such errors which I have done.
My God. So after learning French, English, of course, and doing Marathi, I find this really commendable. You're great.
Oh, thank you so much. It's nice to meeting great teachers like you.
Not at all. You're a good learner. Wow. That was a fun.
Can I just add a little thing? I'm a good
Yes.
learner, and I think I'm an even better teacher. I remember teaching somebody Twitter in 2 minutes.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I mean, the way you interact on Twitter, I'm learning from you. I'm still learning from you. So, I mean, I hope one day I do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just such a great medium for learning
Yes.
language, for learning medicine. I'm learning so much on medicine because, I think I'm following some 5,500 to 100,000 doctors. And the best part is
Oh,
500 to 1,000 doctors are following me,
uh,
right? And I keep commenting on that and I learn.
that's
So
good.
it's a great learning tool, it's not like Facebook, it's not like WhatsApp.
Right.
And definitely not like Insta. Insta is all fake medical news. Whereas X is, a lot of really good doctors are writing really good stuff. So it's a great tool to learn. And language also, it's a great tool. I wish you can share more of these of your talks on Twitter so that more people know about language and
Yes,
learn
I'm
language
planning to do that.
from your wonderful interviews.
Right. I'm planning to do that
You're
soon.
great, yeah.
Learn from you.
Oh, yeah, welcome.
Oh, that was a wonderful discussion, Guru.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you so much for joining. Love you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Cheers. Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you everyone for joining me in conversation with Guru. See you in the next episode with a new language professional talking about his or her passion for languages. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.